Part 3. So the bird dog and the Corso have a close connection. Corso gave the bird dog his red color code. Fighting Dog Breed book, Fig Dietrich, Dr. Fig Dietrich, excuse me, get that book. He has no reason to lie because he was being biased throughout his whole book. Like, he wasn't favoring just one dog over another dog. He gave you an overall history of what was going on with the fighting dog breeds and how different breeds came about. Because another thing too, which the DNA test is not indicating, that when you make pure breed dogs, one dog breed makes another dog breed, and this dog breed makes another dog breed. Because all of these dog breeds are fighting dog breeds I'm talking about. They either, they got either Malosula in them or they got Alance in them. Some more of the Alance spectrum and some more of the Malosula spectrum. Actual fact. Actual fact. Research. So, moving on, 1960s, there's a dog named Leone. I think his name was Leone. And he was the concept dog. And they wanted their dogs, the Neo, to look like that. So they changed the standard one more time. The dogs, now they started becoming very over-exaggerated, Italian fanciers, and the Germans, because the dogs did go to Germany. Fanciers took a like to the dogs and brought them to Germany, started breed clubs, and the dogs took that look of the dewlaps hanging off the face. And it became more and more prevalent in the breed. Before that, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, you could see both spectrums of the dogs. So you had the big sloppy ones, and some that was like beginning to be really overly exaggerated with the dewlaps in the face and all that. And you had some that still look like Corsos. But a lot of people still didn't make the connection. So now, early 90s, well rather the 90s and late 80s, the Corso comes to America and is showcased. Before that, the Corso did come to America. The Corso was brought over either as a Neapolitan Mastiff or as a Corso. The Italians brought them over periodically. And then when the Mafia took effect here in the United States, the black community got introduced to the Corso and the Neo. And that is an actual fact. Not saying they were all over the place, but you did see sprinkles here and there. So with that being said, there's an interesting history about how the dogs got here in America. Mike Satilli Sr. brought the dogs from Sicily here, but before that, Mike Satilli is the guy that was in charge of the Neo standard, the Neos showcasing here in America. He was the top Neo breeder. He was the go-to guy here in America. He had a Neo breed club. Go research it, because it's evidence, it's there. And his earlier Neos were more Corso-like. They wasn't over-exaggerated. They didn't have the dewlaps hanging down, only around the neck area, straighter muzzles. Very awesome looking dogs, in my opinion. 80s came about, 90s, that's when his dogs started changing. He flew over to Sicily to a cousin's wedding. The story is in the Malosula magazine. You can go check that out. It's in ICCF magazine as well. You can go check it out, because Mike Jr. was telling the story. But regardless of the point, they went to Sicily, got dogs, and brought the dogs over. The dog was on the plane. She didn't make it, but the puppies survived. They took the puppies, whelped the puppies, and there's a controversy even with that. Two different stories. But nevertheless, though, the puppies were whelped, and they were grown up. I mean, they started growing up here. So, with that being said, now, this gonna separate the boys and women from the little girls and men. I mean, the little girls and women. Because at the end of the day, you know, these fanciers swear that they're very intelligent. Ask any band dog breeder that's been breeding band dogs for a long time that has the understanding of how to breed band dogs and dogs properly. Ask them this question: do you get consistency right away? And the answer is going to be to that is no. You don't get consistency right away. What made the Super 6 special is this. They came over, and when they grew up, they started competing in like the cherry blossom shows. And the cherry blossom shows, because there wasn't a lot of Corsos being showcased yet. So, with that being said, they went against different dog breeds. German Shepherds, Malleys, Dobermans, French Mastiffs, Bull Mastiffs, English Mastiffs, Pressers, Akitas, Tossers, and Pressers. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. And those dogs were beating out some of the best. No, they beat out a lot of the best dogs around the globe at that present time. The Super 6. That's why they called them the Super 6. They came out of a litter of 13 puppies. That was the first wave of Corsos that was basically showcased. 6 of them were showcased. Linda Salino had some. She's a founder breeder. Linda Valentine had some. She's another founder breeder. Sandra, I'm gonna say Miss Sandra had some. I think she had Notre Dame's or Old World, but they had some as well. Later on, they beat the Garter, which is Mark and Tracy Wilson, which is like some of the founding, like these people are the founding breeders. Ed Hodis, of course, Belmonte, he came a little later. But then when he came along, Derek from Alcor, Cane Corso, Blancho Cane Corso, because he had Neos as well. He was a rival of Mike's Attili Sr., and a lot of rumors got started due to the fact that him and another guy, Medieval Cane Corso, which is Brian Board. He came later also too. And a lot of controversy started being said about how the Super 6 weren't actually real Corsos, and they were like Neapolitan and Rottweiler breeding. First of all, that was a rumor. Mike Attili and his family never bred Rottweilers. When he got married to Kathy was a Rottweiler breeder. She got out of Rottweilers, and she had an old female Rottweiler. So the rumor is that Mike had a dog named Brutus that was one of the top Neo studs in the world. And back then, $5,000 a pup. I'm saying if Brutus bred into another Neo, it's $5,000 a pup and better. So logically, why would I take my best specimens of a Neapolitan Mastiff, which I ain't like Brutus a lot. He was too overly exaggerated for me, for my liking. But why would I take my top Neo that I'm getting $5,000 to like $6,000 to $7,000 a pup back then to breed them into a Rottweiler? Why would I do that? Hold on.